Hey guys, so I have decided that I will now record the video that I have been putting off for a very long time. The video where I talk about Ryan's birth. I don't know what I'm going to expect from this video. I'm not a crier, but things do get me emotional, so if I do, I apologize for that. So as you guys know, if you don't know, me and Kat got pregnant 12 days apart, due 12 days apart. Piper due on the 28th of November and Ryan due on the 10th of December. My waters broke at 36 weeks, 6 days. It's kind of a weird situation because the day before my waters broke, I actually had a fall outside. One of the cats decided to get a bird, and I like to save everything and all animals, and I try to like climb up this thing to let this bird go, and I fell like quite a little bit of a way, probably about a meter or so, onto the floor. Anyway, I was taken to hospital and I was put under observation and everything seemed fine. There was no worries or anything like that. So cool, went home, and the next day we actually saw our midwife. And what happens is they measure your stomach. So basically from the top of your uterus down to the top of your pubic bone. And that measurement will reflect how many weeks you are, give or take a centimeter or two. So if you're 36 weeks, you might measure 34 weeks, or you would measure 38 weeks. I measured at 42 weeks, which was significantly, I just got really, really big. And as you know, I was having hyperemesis and all that, so I wasn't gaining weight. I wasn't like, getting fat or anything based on that. But the midwife just kind of like left it off and, wasn't really too concerned about it because these things do happen. So I went home that night and I recorded the last video that you saw when I think it was all insemination part 2. I recorded that, climbed into bed, did some, cutting and chopping and added it up and posted it out to you. And it was that night at 10 o'clock that my waters broke and it exploded. And when I say exploded, I mean it exploded. You could literally, I heard and felt the pop, and Kat could hear the pop from the bathroom, which is a good like 3 meters away, or 4 meters from where I was. So I totally freaked out because I did not expect that. I was told that it would be a little trickle and all that stuff. It's not like the movies and, So I stood up and it just was flowing. It was absolutely crazy. Like I shorted the circuit in the house because all the water went onto the circuit board, which was funny, but not so funny at the time. We did not expect that, of course. We were expecting Piper to be the first person to arrive, but no, like there were other plans. So I phoned my midwife, and she just wanted me to go to the hospital just to make sure that like it was indeed my waters breaking, which we both sort of knew. But she's a very good midwife and wants to take everything, and do everything right. So I was taken to hospital then, must have been about 10 o'clock, 10:30 at night. And yeah, I was put on the machines and the monitors and all that sort of thing. And I was definitely, my waters are definitely broken. And there were some contractions and everything happening. Nothing that I could really feel, but they could see it on the system. So she's like, yep, everything's looking good. Baby's heart rate's doing well. You need to go home and we need to wait for labor to start. So went home and labor was not starting. And I'm telling you, it's the most stressful thing, like waiting for this labor that you have no idea what it's about. You've only heard stories about it. You've gone to your antenatal classes, that sort of thing. And you just don't know what to expect. And you're waiting for this thing to come and it's not. So my midwife messaged me in the morning because she's obviously on call if I go into labor. Boom, she she comes through to the hospital, and she messaged me in the morning, and she's like, still nothing. And I was like, no, still nothing. So at this point, the midwife starts to sort of communicate with the hospital, and like, oh, her waters broke here, and it's the hospital's call to when they want to do the induction. It's no longer in the midwife's hands. So the hospital, I feel, and this is my personal opinion, you're meant to get induced within 24 hours of your waters breaking if you have not progressed with labor, because there's risk of infection. So which technically brings me to being induced on Thursday evening, which I was not. The hospital told me and the midwife that if I hadn't gone into labor, I need to come in. It was like 6 o'clock or something on the Friday morning. So I was like, okay, well, that's what I have to do. That's what I have to do. Waited. No signs of labor. Nothing. Now, I didn't know that I can like bring labor on and like all these sorts of things. I was not made aware of this. So if your waters break and you want to bring on your labor, there are things that you can do to bring it on, which I'll get into what I was doing then shortly. And basically, I went to the hospital in the morning, and I thought everything's going to be good. I'm going to meet my son. It's going to be a great day. And yeah, I was meant to be induced that morning. Come 1 o'clock, I'm still not induced. Or, well, come 12 o'clock, I'm still not induced. I was getting a bit like anxious and stuff, and I started curb walking outside. Curb walking is when one foot's up on the curb and you walk off onto like the flat surface curb. That's curb walking, and that started to bring on contractions, and boy did that bring on contractions. I had just off the side, I had entered a competition from this lady who was going to do live photo shoots to a deserving couple, that sort of thing. So I entered it, and both cats and myself got won this shoot, and she was really excited and all that stuff. So she met me at the hospital early in the morning, and she was ready to photograph this whole thing. Anyway, she was there. She was an absolute amazing thing. Nina, my girl, if you're watching this, you know I love you. She started helping me because she's got 2 kids of her own, and she was like helping me like curb walk, and she was busy timing my contractions. And so not only was she a photographer, she was honestly just there and being an amazing support person. So I got induced, and I started walking up and down the hospital floor, like just trying to bring on the contractions and all that sort of stuff. And the thing with induction, and people told me this time and time again, Taryn, get the epidural. Induction's the worst, because induction is the worst. What happens is you're forcing your body to do something it's not ready to do, and your contractions are very thick, they're fast, and you're something that's meant to take maybe 18 hours is shortened down into a couple of hours. So I was in a lot of pain. I was taking the gas, not really working. I then asked for the epidural. I must have been about 5 or 6 centimeters when I asked. Don't do what I did. Wait. Don't wait. Please ask for it earlier, because I was only given my epidural at 8 centimeters dilated. Which was pretty much like, well, why even bother? Because I may as well just give birth by then. And by some miracle, the epidurals, the injection into the spine, I actually kept still while they were doing that whole procedure during my intense contractions. Anyway, so yeah, it was an interesting experience, having one heavily pregnant woman supporting someone else, another pregnant woman during birth, and all of that. It was just absolutely nuts. Childbirth is the most intense, most painful thing I have ever done in my life. Would I do it again? In a heartbeat. In an absolute heartbeat. But if I have kids again, because of what I'm about to tell you, I will not do natural again. and the midwife and stuff have said no to that also. Stop tearing up. It's because I know what's coming. So that's why I'm doing this, and I'm anxious playing with magnets. So it came to a point where Ryan wasn't coming out of my pelvis. Like, I've got quite a narrow pelvis. It must be from my mom. My mom had the same story. I was born at 2.6 kilos, where Ryan was born at 3.4 odd kilo. So there's a big difference. Ryan was a big baby, etc., etc. So Ryan wasn't coming out of, was struggling to get out. He was definitely struggling to get out. There wasn't really much of a concern with his heart rate. His heart rate was dropping, but nothing bad, just a little. And the midwife's like, and the OB and all of that came in, and they're like, we've got to get this baby out, otherwise we're going to have to do a cesarean, and, that sort of thing. So the OB went to kind of get ready to potentially do a cesarean, and she got the ventouse and all that sort of things to see if we could get Ryan out. That, she was just really getting ready for everything. And I got to a point where I was tired. I have had a horrific pregnancy where I have been vomiting the whole time. I am weak. I am tired. I've had it, and now I'm doing natural birth, and the epidural that I got only lasts about 15 minutes, and you have to keep topping it up because I cannot have the normal epidural stuff because I have seizures. So anyway, there was that whole process, and I got to this point where I just was I was feeling everything, yet I was just so tired. It was the strangest thing. So Ryan, something came over me, and I was just like, I need to get this child out. Now, at this point, I had got my mom on the phone because my mom couldn't be there with me as she's in South Africa. And that was really hard, not having my mom there for my pregnancy, not having my mom there for my birth, but she really wanted to be part of it. So we had a video call up. And I was just like, I need to do this. I need to get this kid out. I don't want to have to go through anything more. I just want to get this child out. And I don't know where it came from, but I pushed like I have never pushed before. And I felt Ryan came out. But just before I felt Ryan came out, when I was still pushing, I actually felt my stomach vibrate. Very interesting. And I even remember saying to Kat, I was like, my stomach's vibrating. Like, what's going on? Can you see it? Is it in my mind or whatever? But then my mind kind of changed to something else because I'm really focusing on just giving birth to this kid. And I just remember feeling Ryan come out. I just remember you just feel this kid. It's like the head and everything just follows out. And Ryan was put on my chest, and I remember having him there, and I remember my hand on his bum, and he was gone. It was so quick. He was just taken away from me, and I was like, okay, what the hell? Anyway, I look over on the I call it the resus table, but that's apparently not what it's called. But anyway, that just shows my trauma with the whole thing. So anyway, I look over there, and I'm just thinking, well, you see this stuff in movies all the time. Here's this kid, comes out, and they take it away, and they work on him, and give him a little bit of air, and everything's fine, and he cries, and then you cry, and then you hold your baby, and then just, that's life. That is what I was expecting, to be completely honest. I'm not a medical professional, nothing like that. And time was going, and I remember shouting out, and I'm like, where's my baby? Is he okay? And I remember looking at Kat's face, and there was this look in Kat's face, and I was like, I could tell instantly that something was not right. Something was not right, and I just felt my whole soul leave my body. It was crazy. I may have to do a part 2 on this. Sorry. I know I'm not going to be able to do this without crying. That's the thing, I know. But I know that I need to let you guys know because you've been part of this journey for so long. And they pushed the alarm, but they had pushed the alarm before, and within seconds, everyone's there. The person who pushed the alarm was Nina. Nina, my girl. She's my everything when it came to that. She was just there for me in this moment when I needed her, and she was there holding my hand. And well, Kat's like, I don't know, Kat's a nurse, so she's doing like medical stuff. And I remember the room filled up so quickly with people. There were just people. There was just literally just my midwife, my other midwife, Kat, and I think there was one other person there. I don't know. Yes, there was. And I know her, and she knows good old Steph from Waitakere. She's there. She was there anyway. I didn't know her then, but I knew her after. And I looked over at the resus table, and I just remember them picking up Brian's arm, and it just felt. He was blue. His chest wasn't moving, and I just saw that, and I broke. And I prayed to every single thing that was out there. I promise you, I became every single religion. Lapinal, I knew this would happen, but like thinking that everyone is going to see this. I'm sorry. And I just wanted my baby, and I couldn't get up. I just wanted to get to him, and the room was so quiet, yet it was so noisy. It was the weirdest thing. I'm lying there, my legs are up. They've given me an episiotomy. For those that don't know, they cut you open so that the baby can come out. And I'm just lying there, and I'm getting stitched, and I just want to be with my baby, and I can't. And I don't know what's going on. No one's talking to me. They're just saying, he's sick. And I'm like, is he alive? And there was a moment where they said, we're going to show you him very quickly, but then we have to get him to Skabu in Waitakere where I was. And they showed me him really, really quickly, and he was like gurgling and stuff, and they put him into this thing, and he was gone. And I remember Kat turning around and saying, like, what do you want me to do? Like, do I be with you? Like, and I just said, just go with him. He needs us. He needs us. And yeah, she went with Ryan, and I lay there, and it felt like forever. It felt so long that I was getting stitched up. It was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. I remember the pediatric doctor coming in and just trying to explain everything of what's going on, but he's speaking words. They speak words that you don't understand. You're like, can you please speak to me like I'm stupid and don't know anything? Because they're saying all these big fancy words, and I'm like, I've just given birth to my child. I've just gone through like so much. I don't know what's going on. Like, is my child going to be okay? Just tell me that. And they couldn't answer me that. They couldn't say that he was going to be okay. And they said, he's not out the woods. He's not out the woods. And I just wanted to see him. I just needed to see my baby. I'm going to have to do definitely another one of these. And yeah, but let's try and finish just, even if it's just that night. So I went to, eventually I was put on the wheelchair, and they took me through to see Ryan, and he had this apnea mask on, and there was blood on the thing because he had his heels pricked, and he had monitors and all that sort of stuff, and it ruined me seeing him like that for the first time. But I was so like, what the hell's going on? Is this my child? Like, is this my baby? Like, I like just didn't even know if he was my baby. Like, it was the most strangest thing until I saw his toe, which I know all the people that know me are probably going to be laughing at that because it's funny. It is funny. But when I saw his toe, I knew he was my boy. And they said that they're going to have to put him into a induced coma. because they need to calm his brain down. He's had a lot of oxygen loss, and I don't know, it's like big words and big things, and I'm just like, just do what you need to do, please. Like, so I was told to leave because it's not apparently a very pleasant thing to see anyone getting tubed. So I left and I just sat outside while they were doing that. But he landed up having a seizure as they were putting him on his life support thing, and not his life support, pretty much. And he landed up having his seizure, and they had to get him. He had to be transferred to Auckland, and he had 6 hours from when he was born till for 6 hours for him to be put onto this cooling suit. And what this cooling suit essentially does is it brings the baby's temperature down to 33 degrees, and that prevents any sort of further seizures, and it tries to prevent any brain damage. It cools the brain and the body completely down. So anyway, they landed up getting him there. He was born at 7:24, and they landed up getting him to Auckland just before 1. And what broke my heart even more was that he was rushed. Like, not just rushed, like it was lights and sirens and speeding down through from Waitakere to Auckland Hospital to essentially just save his life. But they kept saying he's not out the woods and he may not make it. And if he does, there's chances of severe brain damage. And I'm like, what the hell is going on right now? Like, am I in a dream? So I was taken back while they were busy getting him to hospital. I'm just like, take him. I got to kiss him. I'll remember that. I got to kiss him, and I was just like, just take him. He needs to get to where he needs to be. They took me back to where I had given birth, and then I am lying there, and I am hearing someone next door giving birth, and their baby comes out crying. And that killed me. And my midwives knew exactly what was going on and landed up putting music up and closing the doors and all of that. And I have got the most incredible midwives, and I will recommend them to everyone because they saved my son's life. They did. But there is more to the story, but I need to go. I need a bit of a minute on my own, and there will be a part 2 to this. So yeah, love you guys, and thank you, and I'm sorry, but I know I had to do this sometime. Bye.